The Tao of Self-Confidence, Episode 221. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits. Well, hello friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today I have a phenomenal lady on. She is a TV news anchor, a health and wellness coach, a media consultant, and I'm just, excited to have her on and share her story with us on self-confidence. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Teressa Siu. Teressa, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to our listeners.
Very well, Sheena. Thank you so much for having me on your show. This is amazing, and you're phenomenal yourself. Thank you so much. Well, you mentioned that I'm a news anchor. I'm also a news reporter. I've done a lot of, communication work, basically teaching at universities, teaching public speaking. And now as a health advocate, I'm constantly speaking. So I'm a wellness speaker as well. And I actually specialize in vegetarian and vegan nutrition. Interesting enough, do a lot of integrative food therapy. And then I'm a yoga teacher as well. So I've done a lot of stuff in my life.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And what's your cultural background?
I am Chinese. I was actually born in China. Our family immigrated when I was around 10. So I grew up in LA, Los Angeles, in the United States, and just went through school. And then after graduate school in the Missouri School of Journalism, I got my master's in broadcast journalism. Then I moved to Hong Kong to work as, I took up several full-time jobs as a news reporter and anchor with the leading stations here, and then just kept going with my career.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And Teressa, what would be your favorite self-confidence quote?
Yeah, you're too big to be so small. And I think, Sheena, that's Mariam Williamson, right? I think it makes a lot of sense to me because I could always relate because you can't see me. I'm very petite. And, petite as in just a small frame woman. And being Chinese and having young looks and being on TV, when people see that profile, people just think, oh, wow, she's so young looking. And it's hard to give her that credibility and that authority as the broadcast person. And I constantly had that in my career as I started, actually. Now I don't get that anymore. I think because I was able to build my confidence around it and then build my self-confidence within myself, that I'm able to zone it out. I'm really able to believe in myself that I could do this and that people will believe me.
Thanks for sharing that quote. And, I think it's also, being an Asian woman, it's like we've been programmed pretty much since birth that, we kind of stay in the background, don't make too much noise. And, some people don't realize that affects us in a big way. Like, you kind of doubting yourself, thinking just because I'm young looking and I'm Asian looking, people won't take me seriously. But if you just go out there and take that action, people will take you seriously. People will see that you are in it and you're just going to keep on going. So I really love that quote. Thanks for sharing that. And Teressa, what would be your definition of self-confidence?
I think we talked about this a little bit already. And with what I've gone through and experienced in life, my journey has taken me to now today. With the wisdom I have, I just think that self-confidence is when I know and I believe and truly, truly, deeply believe that I can. And seriously, I can, like capital letters, can, C-A-N. And self-confidence is when I stop seeking approval outside of me. Self-confidence is when I know within me that everything that I believe I can achieve. And that self-confidence is all about loving myself, being appreciative of whoever I am, of whatever I am. Everything that I have been given to me by my parents, in my DNA, and everything that I have earned is all within me, within my core. That is self-confidence to me.
Thanks for sharing those definitions. And I love everything that you mentioned. Teressa, what was your life like before your discovery of self-confidence?
I think let's not say life before that. I think it's always the before and after. And then the the discoveries come at different stages, right? You know, as a child, as a teen, then as, you know, in your 20s, and then when you start your career. I think you go through, or I did, I went through all these different stages of, okay, how do I become more self-confident? But I think it's more of a discovery of, okay, hang on, why am I in this mess of having self-doubt again? And I think it's always a discovery of, okay, hang on, I'm overstressed and I'm allowing my external voices to get into my core. I know that I'm confident. I know I'm a high achiever. I know I can do this. But how come I got to the point where I allowed people who would tell me, you're not tall enough, you're not pretty enough, your face is not oval enough, your voice is not old enough, it's not mature enough. How come I let all of that affect me? And I think the discovery is just interesting when you cross those hurdles and going back to the idea of, hang on, all this is in my core. We're all born with the right to be happy. We're all born with the right to be self-confident and be successful and in loving ourselves the way that we are. You know, I always have this saying, like I always tell my mom, you know, I did not ask to be born, but I really appreciate that everything you and dad have given me. And I think that always helps me getting back to the self-discovery of, okay, look, I need to love myself again. I need to be confident again. I need to believe in everything that I have and believe in everything that I am going to have and that I want to have. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. And I'm glad that you're able to realize, just falling in love with yourself is, more than enough to realize your potential and go out there and, be the successful, news broadcaster, news anchor that you are today. And, because of these realizations, what's your life been like now?
Like I said, every stage is different. I just feel myself growing. And every time when I get back to that right place, when I say the right place is what I said earlier, is I don't need to seek outside approval. Just believe in what I do. I mean, in fact, what I do now, Sheena, as I mentioned to you earlier, I'm a health advocate, and I'm really using and optimizing on my media presence to serve the community. And, I think many, many years ago, I decided, and I just made that decision, was to, look, I am not going to ask anyone if it's okay that I am going to be a broadcast journalist. I am not going to ask anyone if it's okay that I marry someone outside of my culture. And I am not going to ask someone if it's okay that I just not earn money like other people would think that I should be earning because of my qualifications and my experiences. I am simply not going to ask for approval that if it's okay that I am going to be a health advocate, a wellness speaker, and serve the community. I don't need it. I simply do not need any of that. I will live life the way I live. And with that, interesting, Sheena, like with that affirmation within myself, and once I set that tone and idea, it's just so amazing because, seeking outside approval is just so exhausting. And without that exhaustion, I could put all the energy in doing what I love doing and that I'm passionate about, that I believe that whatever I do, I choose to do, will serve the purpose of giving me a very purposeful life. That when I have that energy, I can love the people around me freely. And when I am vibrating on that energy, people walk past me and go, oh my goodness, Teresa, it's like looking at a lighthouse. And you know how wonderful that feeling is. And that knowing every day I'll wake up and roll out of bed that I am serving the world with a very meaningful purpose. How joyful is that?
Thanks for sharing that. And, I love everything that you mentioned. And it's true. It's our own journey. We don't have to compare it to anyone else. And when we stop seeking that approval, it's just, you're so free. It's the best feeling in the world. And Teresa, if the woman who's listening to your episode, she may be in her own journey of self-confidence, what would be that one tip you'd give to her?
Love yourself. I have to constantly remind myself this every day. And if I am ever in a place, and I do, I'm only human, and I'm not speaking, as I said, I'm vulnerable, I'm imperfectly perfect. Love yourself. And if you ever fall out of love, and there will be moments, like I said, different stages, right? We always get into these puddles and then we come back to it. Always remind yourself to fall in love with yourself. And I think it's such an attraction. It's such a beautiful thing when you go, oh, I'm in love with me again.
Thanks for sharing those awesome tips, Teresa. We love them, and I'm sure, it all boils down to loving yourself for sure. And
I think it does. Gratitude.
And
gratitude.
when women and even men can realize that, it's a greatest feeling in the world. So if our listeners wanted to connect with you or get to know a little bit more about you, is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
They're welcome to add me on Facebook, which you could share that. And I'm on LinkedIn, so it's just all under my name, really. And then I also have a LotusLifeTV email that they could message me. It would be lotuslife.tv@gmail.com. That's the company profile. I do own my company email, that is. I do own my own broadcast house and wellness consultancy. We specialize in education. They're welcome to reach out on Facebook. As long as they are a connection through you, I could message them.
Thanks for sharing that. And to our listeners, if you want to connect with Teresa, you can also head on over to thetaoofselfconfidence.com and search for Teresa's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else we talked about. And I just want to thank Teresa for taking the time to share her story and journey with us.
Thank you, Sheena. Thank you for, having me on your amazing journey to empower other women.
It was an honor to have you on. And to our listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of the Tao of Self-Confidence. Get your free self-talk tape for building self-confidence by visiting our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits.